I'm Sheila Matthews, your human digital sidekick, keeping you plugged in and up to date with the latest online trends, the juice of the entertainment world, and the top stories affecting our lives. We watch timelines all day so you don't have to. And as always, we're back again with a special guest, and today we have Dr. Jay Barnett, who will be joining us to talk about all things sports with a splash of mental health. So let's log in. So on Who's Logged In, Dillon Brooks is still talking trash to his old teammates. First on today's timeline, Dillon Brooks is logging in. Dillon Brooks faced off against his former team, the Memphis Grizzlies, for the first time ever over the weekend, and in true DB fashion, there was no loss for words. Infamous for the trash talking and obviously not too happy about his split from his former team, Dillon Brooks is back with the Diss Sideline Talk diss track, but this time he may really hit home, a home that Dillon helped build. Before the Grizzlies faced off with the Rocket star, Dillon made it clear he felt the team was at a huge loss without him, calling the team swagless now, and referred to them as the girlfriend you used to have but you didn't know was a good girlfriend until she was gone. His former Grizzlies teammates responded, taking the high road, kinda, calling Dillon an antagonizer, but also giving him his props, saying he's a heck of a player. So it seems to me that Dillon feels like he's the fire song that the Grizzlies skipped out on and then found out he was fire later, and now he's back for revenge. So Logged In family, hop in the comments and let us know, is Dillon better with or without the Grizzlies? All right, I'm super excited to move to today's digital scoreboard because laying up the points with me is our special guest, Dr. Jay Barnett. Dr. Jay is a family therapist and mental health expert who loves all things sports. Guys, Dr. Jay.
Thank you for having me, Sheila.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited about today, and I get to talk sports. And so I'm excited because I am a former pro athlete many, many years ago, and now I'm a family therapist and doctor in healthcare administration. And so I'm looking forward to talking sports, mental health, all things, related around how we do life.
Absolutely. And look, I've gotten the opportunity to know you over the last few hours we spent together, and you're such an amazing and dynamic person.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, so tell the people who are watching, who is Dr. Jay, and more specifically, how you married your love for sports and mental health.
So as I was stating earlier, I was a free agent back in 2006, and I spent a couple of seasons in the Arena League. And after leaving football, I battled a lot with depression, and as I've shared so openly and transparently around the country about surviving 2 suicide attempts. And it wasn't until I got into therapy and I began to do the work, as many of us athletes find difficulty in trying to identify who we are after sports. And so for me, I didn't know who I was without a helmet. And that was a challenge for me. And entering into therapy and realizing that I could become someone else besides just being a football player.
Absolutely. And speaking of being judged by performance and athletes, Deion Sanders and Colorado have been the talk all college football season. So Coach Prime, an all-star former athlete himself, has had success within the college football coaching space, making him a prodigy, not just formally on the field, but also on the sidelines. So Dr. J, gotta know, how closely have you been following good old Colorado?
I've been watching Coach Prime in Colorado very closely because for me, I'm not just looking at who he is as a coach, I'm looking at what he represents as a black man, what he represents as a man who's not just coaching athletes, but who also is fathering athletes. And then we're seeing us do this, we're seeing him do this with his sons, in real time. That is something that I think is so special as a black man. But also we get to see him start somewhere ground level and build it up. And so I've been excited to see how this is going to continue to grow. And because it takes time when you move into a new program. And so as much as he's receiving criticism, I think we should also understand, man, it's hard to go in and turn a program around in 1 year.
Well, although it started off bad, more recently, Coach Prime's run in Colorado has not had the best winning streak, as I'm sure you know. Last Sunday, news broke that 3-star recruit Taylon Chandler has decided to decommit from Colorado in order to play in Missouri. Chandler had nothing but good things to say about Coach Prime, saying, "Mizzou was a dream school for me. Being able to stay home and play in the SEC is an unbelievable opportunity. It was a very hard decision, and I have so much love and appreciation for CU and the coaching staff. Ultimately, me and my family decided Mizzou was the best for me and my future, Chandler said on the decision to flip to Missouri. Now, although his team is taking some hits and not the ones that result in touchdowns, Coach Sanders, in his true fashion, found a way to turn a negative to a positive when speaking on the matter. So let's take a listen.
I'm 56 and I have no plans on changing. So Colorado Buffalo fans, I love you, I appreciate you. We're gonna win. Just put your seatbelt on. Because the ride gonna get a little shaky, it's gonna look bumpy, but we gonna win. But the climax that we gave you early on, we gonna get you back there. Because I know you like that ride, didn't you? We're gonna get you back there. So we have the same passion, the same purpose, and we're gonna win. Just hold on.
So Dr. J, I know mental health and sports, they're your things. And Coach Prime, he does a lot to instill in his players, keeping the balance of mental health and public persona and showing up on the field and all the things like that. But what advice do you give to athletes who are in that public eye dealing with that constant scrutiny?
For one, I love to encourage athletes to take time away from social media. You got to take a break, and you got to give your brain a break. I think when we're constantly scrolling and we're constantly looking at the comment section and you're looking at who's adding you, you're looking at what they said, that can be very damaging to your mental health. And I think too, realizing that we have to create space to just be, because if you're constantly looking at these comments about what you could have done, you didn't catch enough balls, you had this many drops, your brain stay in constant performance mode. And when your brain is in a constant mode of performing, you miss spaces and opportunities to just give your brain, your neurotransmitter, a break to just resolve whatever things or whatever issues that you haven't addressed. And then also talking about the young man that flipped. So, the media will look at it, well, did he flip because of what has happened in Colorado? I think we have to normalize people changing decisions for whatever reason that they change their mind.
Absolutely.
It's no different than someone's been engaged and all of a sudden 2 weeks before the wedding, it's like,
Yeah, like maybe I wasn't thinking as clearly when I got down. Yeah, it happens, and it's okay to evolve and to change your mind.
That's right there.
Yeah.
It's okay. For whatever reason that he changed his mind.
That's the point. I think it's also measures of what isn't working. Like, let's be honest. It's more people ever who showed up to Colorado games. You have fanfare, you have people who never cared about college football, caring about college football, following these players, getting the visibility and opportunities beyond the sport as well. Groundbreaking NILs for a good amount of those players on the team.
Should do a set, my good sister.
Get that money. Come on now. Yeah.
I love it. I still think, Coach Prime is great for college football because who's to say what Colorado is going to be, 2 to 4 seasons from now. So I'm excited to keep watching.
Yeah. He's giving us a show in true primetime fashion.
Yes, he is.
And something, too, that I admire about Coach Prime and find the through line between the two of you is he's in the public eye, but he's also very transparent about his mental health journey, too, and about challenges that he's had in his life. So it really makes me wonder, when you approach your work, how do you talk to the athletes, or what do you instill in them who are living their lives under this public scrutiny?
The first thing that I do is I humanize them. And I think we don't see that a lot in the media. I don't think we see that a lot even just, in our environments, because people are looking at athletes, they're action figures, they're heroes. And if you're looking at a football player, you're looking at this guy who has this barbaric bravado. And so for me, the first thing I want that athlete to understand is that you're a human being. And much of our life is focused on human doing. So it's like, how well do you perform? How high you jump? How much, can you do in a short amount of time? And so I think it's important to humanize them in a way that they're able to look within and not be so focused on looking outwardly. And I think if we can, as a collective, as a community, as a society, humanize athletes, this would allow them to feel human when they have moments.
And honestly, I have 2 left feet, y'all know that about me. So I couldn't imagine being an athlete, period. So it really makes me wonder, when athletes lose and when they win, do they carry that home with them? Like, I know sometimes it's easy for some of us to log off, turn the computer off, we leave the work at work. Do they take those feelings and those thoughts with them?
Oh yeah, I think if you didn't take those feelings, I would question how much you care. I think that it's a human thing as well to take it home with you. but it's how you take it home. And I think the challenge for most athletes is being able to separate who I am as an athlete and a player, and then who I am as a man or a woman, right? Who am I as a partner? Who am I as a person? Who am I as a son, as a daughter? And what I would love to see is athletes receiving not only just the care, but receiving the guidance on not just how to be a professional, but how do I be a human? And how do I balance all of that? Because I think there's this unique duality that I'm taking the loss personal, but I'm not allowing the loss to interfere with my personal life.
Absolutely.
That's a challenge.
That is a challenge, because on that note, my next question is about the sports fans, right?
Oh my God.
So especially during this season, all the parlays, all the things, sometimes I see it, I'm like, I know that cry when I see it in the stands. That's the cry of somebody who's hurt behind this
Invested.
loss. Invested. That's what was invested. So how do you see sports fans taking these feelings and emotions from the game home with them into other areas of their lives?
I think it's difficult for fans to separate their player that they have chosen, their team, away from the reality of it is a game.
Yeah.
Now, you can't say that to an athlete, right?
Yeah.
That it's just a game, because it's more than a game, because
Absolutely.
it's our livelihood. But I think for fans, it's understanding that, as much as we would want our team to win or our player of our choosing to succeed, I think it's important to stay a step away from it to where it doesn't consume you.
I think it's remiss if we don't acknowledge that some people do get the holiday blues. It can remind them of past family members, or, in this economy, the holidays aren't as cheery and merry as they used to be. So what advice can you offer to people who are feeling those holiday blues this year?
So the first thing I want to acknowledge that SAD is a real challenge, and what that is, seasonal affective disorder. And it's a seasonal depression. It's a real thing. And it's a real thing because we have less sunlight in the fall and the winter months. And for many people, if you're not getting enough sunlight, it can be very challenging on your mental health. It can be very challenging on your body altogether. So we begin to sort of retreat. We stay in the house more, and if you stay in the house more, you're eating more. You binge watching TV. So what I would encourage people to do is when there's sunlight, get out as much as you can. And then second, socialize in circles that are healthy for you. And all healthy circles may not be your family members. So let me just say that. Because sometimes the blood relatives don't feel like, family.
Absolutely. It's nothing wrong with chosen family.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, you heard it here first. The ways to stay the most merry this holiday season: get your vitamin D up, supplements, get some sun when you're outside, and also don't be afraid to lean into your chosen family. Be around those who make you happy and who put you in the best spirits this holiday season. Dr. J, thank you so much for stopping by Logged In.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. In our next segment, Spamming Screens, is hip-hop's Me Too about to take front stage for 2024? So this next topic, I'm sure, has spammed your screen from the comment section to your group chat. And over the past 2 weeks, we've seen a domino effect of civil lawsuits being filed against hip-hop execs and artists following Cassie's $30 million lawsuit against rapper Sean P. Diddy Combs, Brother Love, whatever you want to call him, in a Manhattan federal court. So in the suit, Cassie, who dated the rapper for almost a decade, claimed she'd been abused and forced to take drugs, raped, and forced to have sex with male prostitutes as part of a laundry list of claims that were included in her filing. On the filing, Cassie said in a statement from her attorney, "After years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships." When I say there is not a single person in this world who would have had this on their 2023 bingo card, I mean, not one person. Now, of course, Diddy came out through his attorneys and denied all accusations, but here's where it gets kind of tricky. In the last 24 hours, it was reported and confirmed by the New York Times that Diddy and Cassie had reached a private settlement following the filing. But it didn't stop there, so y'all hang on tight. With the deadline of the New York City Adult Survivors Act expiring after Thanksgiving, Cassie's filing was accompanied by a slew of other women alleging they too had been victims of sexual assault at the hands of hip-hop, including 3 women filing additional suits against Diddy, Jamie Foxx finding himself at the helm of a civil suit, and even hip-hop's mayor of New York, Eric Adams, found himself amongst civil suits alleging sexual assault. There have been many conversations following the filings about how effective this law is, as there are many survivors who used it to tell their stories and get justice once they have finally found the ability to come forth, which we can only imagine is tough. But this law has also faced a ton of pushback from spectators and attorneys of those in question. The spokesperson for Diddy responded to his 3 new filings, saying these are civil suits with fabricated claims of misconduct from over 30 years ago, which are nothing but blatant money grab. Mr. Combs is being unfairly targeted by anonymous accusers who lie for financial gain. The New York legislator never intended the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited. Look, I don't know if we'll ever get to a place where everyone can completely agree on anything, but what I can say is that there are women who find themselves in a position like singer Cassie alleged she found herself in, and are making the decision to get what they deem as justice. We must hear them out in the court of law and not the court of public opinion. Case closed. All right, today, y'all, we have to get into Log Out, and we're gonna be talking about LSU star parents fighting in the comments over the news of suspension. So I know y'all remember growing up hearing your parents say, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all. Well, today's segment of Log Out is dedicated to 2 parents who, in the heat of the moment, maybe didn't remember that advice that they gave to their own children. So LSU star Angel Reese was benched reportedly following low GPA scores and issues surrounding her attitude. Now, Angel has been at the center of controversy before those controversies were ones, and we could all rally around her. But I mean, look, I'm always here for Black women, reminding the world that we are the vibe, we're the moment, all the things. But today, we gotta get into the latest with Mama Reese, and I gotta call Miss Angel Webb, the mother of Angel Reese, not even to the front of the congregation. We might gotta take this one outside, because I also gotta call Miss Kia Brooks, the mother of LSU star Flau'jae Johnson, to join us. So look, I know we have a lot of emotions, especially when our children are involved in conversations, and maybe they got lost in the heat of the moment and took their comments and their attitudes and all the things to the internet. But we can't forget that their kids are 2 of the most famous college players on the court. And you know, normally moms are online embarrassing their kids with photos like we didn't get to Photoshop yet, or you know, doing mom-like things like selfies that cut off an eye or something. But not the mothers this time. 2 of the most famous women's college basketball players' mamas got on the internet and started having a little tiff on Instagram stories. And look, I understand that there may be some issues with attitudes or grades or whatever the case is, but that's not an excuse for 2 Black women to be on the internet, especially mothers of daughters who are already ridiculed, to no avail publicly, and they're in the headlines for days. So I just want to bring back when moms posted about PTA meetings and new content for blogs and stuff like that, but not about the personal business of the daughter. So Mama Brooks, Mama Webb, Angel, Flau'jae, everyone, I need everyone to log out. I know it's tough right now in the heat of the moment, but later you will thank us for this one. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Sheila Matthews, and this has been another amazing episode of Logged In, where we bring you the latest online trends, the juice of the entertainment world, and the top stories affecting your lives. Thank you to our guest today, Dr. Jay. Listen, I hope you are enjoying the show as much as we are enjoying bringing it to you. So be sure to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, set an alarm. I don't care what you have to do to never miss the chance to log in with us. We'll see you next week at the same time in the same location for the same downloading of your timeline. Bye.
Log out.